much better with him on the ice. And again, there's a reason why next Thursday he's going to be playing his 1,000th game. Knock on wood. Hopefully, I didn't just ruin him, especially as he's about to get on a plane and go back to the scene of the crime, so to speak, in Dallas. Apologies.
Casual Wrister. That'd be a good band name, I think.
Yep.
I ask you this periodically. Well, actually, answer this in 1 second. I want to think about it.
I can't answer anything in 1 second.
Delay a second.
Okay.
Who is the best player in the NHL right now? I do want to thank WhizKids.tech, WHIZKIDS.tech. If your company needs a technology ally, they are a Minneapolis company that has grown by leaps and bounds, doing very well now. And now they have a big old banner, Billboard. Billboard is the word I was looking for, on Washington Avenue. So, we appreciate that they've been sponsoring this program and programs across our network, and they're also growing enough to really getting to be showing off at this point. So, thanks to Michael Thanert for his support.
Hello, Minnesota sports fans. This is Michael Thanert, founder and CEO of WhizKids. WhizKids is a Minneapolis-based managed IT, hosted VoIP, and cloud services provider. Businesses today require fast response times, skilled support staff, clear communication, and technology recommendations that align with their business goals. At WhizKids, we do this each and every day with our clients. When you call into our help desk for support or work with one of our higher-level engineers on a complex issue, you'll find our staff personable and ready to roll up their sleeves to help you solve your technology problems. Reach out to WhizKids today to find out how we can help your business meet your technology goals. Visit us online at whizkids.tech. That's whizkids.tech. WhizKids, make it happen.
Connor McDavid, that's the best player in the league. Close
Is
second
it
might
clear?
be Austin. Oh, yeah. He's the best player in the league.
Who's two?
I would say Crosby still, and then Austin Matthews is going to be. He's just right there. It's going to be Matthews and McDavid forever. For the rest of our lives that we're watching this sport, those two are going to be dominant. Obviously a little hyperbole. Well, maybe the rest of my life.
Remember, get a couple drinks in and come up and ask a question. It'll be fun.
By the way, Ken, did you take something? Clearly, that CBA is something you would want.
Yeah, I don't know why you wouldn't spend the weekend
with
the CBA.
I'll leave it for the other folks. Okay, so first thing, more of a joke than anything, but
I like your shirt.
Oh, yeah. Got it from here.
It's a classic.
Got it from here. As much as I love Prosser, hopefully Dubnik's wife's not pregnant, because I don't want to see him suit up as a backup goalie.
I can't say some people I can't say whose wives are pregnant.
That sounded like a yes to me.
I forced a player to admit that his wife was pregnant the other day. Like, his family doesn't even know yet. I'm like, well, you better tell him by Friday.
They told you before they told their family.
Yeah, he really didn't want to, but I'm like,
well, how did you get him to?
I just made him tell me.
Did you bring the sock? The sock of pain? Did you bring that and threaten him with it?
Yeah. I should actually probably remind him that you might want to tell your family by Friday.
This is a warning. Don't ever tell Michael anything unless you want it to be on this podcast.
On the media.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Okay, actual question. So reading the article on The Athletic earlier about the William Nylander, the whole thing, 6 games in, they're talking about the Wild making some sort of a ridiculous trade to obtain him from the Leafs. Not that exact trade, but knowing Fenton's past, is that something that we should expect to see at the trade deadline? Is see somebody like a Spurgeon and some other conditional things going to get a young player like that, or even maybe not as young as him, but another player of that caliber from a team that needs defensemen that we can make happen.
There is nothing more fun at these podcasts and watch Vicky panic with questions. I'm just saying, you almost made her keel over with the Spurgeon comment, and it absolutely made this entire experience worth it for me. I would read the story on The Athletic today because you might throw up some more. Because that's the reason why he brought up Spurgeon. First of all, the story that you're talking about, Tony Abbott, one of our contributors, wrote per my request, because I do think that there's an alignment there that makes a lot of sense. The Wild are looking for a young, dynamic forward. He's 22. They would control his rights for a long time. he's asking for $8 million a year. But Tony took definitely a different tack than I would have. I don't think he's worth $8 million a year and wouldn't make a move. I don't think he's a better player than Johnny Gaudreau or David Pastrnak, and those guys make 6.75 and 6.6 respectively. At 7:22, please remind me to update my parking. So anyway,
always focused. Michael Russo's always focused on the here and now. He's here for you.
The other
he
thing
cannot be distracted.
The other thing that that in my opinion, again, and I haven't seen Nylander enough, but Tony has watched him a lot, and Tony digs into the analytical numbers, which is why I wanted Tony to write the story. But I look at a guy that has played 13 playoff games next to Austin Matthews, and he somehow only has 2 goals, which I inserted into the story, by the way. So you could probably see in Tony's story the areas where I inserted, but I thought he did a great job. But to answer your question, and to me, whether or not Tony's story winds up coming to fruition at all, because I will say Kyle Dubas is in Switzerland right now at a neutral site because everything's in Switzerland, so they met at a place that would be unaffiliated with them being in Sweden, and yet it still got out. They're working on a bridge deal. I think they get it done. I think that Kyle Dubas is going to have to assure him that if you take a $6 million bridge deal, that they are not going to trade you in the 2 or 3 years. There's a lot of dynamics here that Kyle is under pressure on. One is John Tavares was promised that if he signed undervalue, that the core would stay together. And if all of a sudden William Nylander is not part of the core, he's got to worry about pissing off Tavares. Obviously Marner and Austin are a big part of that, and I don't think John's going to freak out on him, but he was promised, look, if I come here and take this, can you keep these 3? And he was assured yes. The other thing is that if Kyle's got to be careful here. You cannot promise William Nylander, yes, if you sign in your opinion, under market, that then if you promise him I'm not going to trade you, and then you turn around and trade him, that is going to get around the league and make him look bad, if that makes sense. So I think that he's going to have to look him in the eyes and say, you are part of our core, we're not going to move you. And then what he needs is insurance from Austin and Marner that they're going to sign at the right market. So, but to get back to your question, I do expect at some point, this is a vanilla bland team, to be blunt, and Paul Fenton is not a vanilla bland guy. He's got a big personality, and he's going to want to come here and put his stamp on this team, and I expect it at some point. I just don't know when. That could be now. That could be at the trade deadline. That could be next summer, whenever. So am I hearing like was that you? Were you whistling?
I don't think I was.
Well, then maybe it's an aneurysm that's happening. So anyway, there was some sort of background noise, no? Was that
You're hearing things just as you often see things. And before our next live question, I want to thank John Hedges from Fixology Repair. He's here tonight. He has a downtown Minneapolis location. It's on the Skyway. Also has a place, 3rd floor of the Mall of America, up by Nordstrom's. And John, we've told you about his watch repair, the gifts you can buy there, the watches they sell, the iPad and phone repairs they do. Now they have hired someone to do video game console repair in addition to all the other services. So, and that's at the Mall of America location. So video game consoles as well as all the other things they sell, all the other services they provide, including iPad, iWatch, iPhone, other phone type of repair. So check them out at fixologyrepair.com.
There are some things in life that you just can't live without. Now, whether it's a special piece of jewelry, a watch, or even your smartphone, you want it in working condition. At Fixology Repair, we are committed to restoring your pieces so that everything works or fits the way it ought to. Watch servicing, chain repair, and broken screen replacements are just a few of the services that we offer at our 2 locations, Mall of America and the Skyway in downtown Minneapolis. Please visit us at fixologyrepair.com or at fixologymn on Twitter to learn more. Mention this ad and get a 10% discount on our services.
Yes, sir.
You're talking about Fenton's putting his stamp on the team. You were pretty good friends or knew Fletcher pretty well. If he hadn't have been fired, what type of moves do you think he would have done in the offseason, or what type of moves do you know that he would have done in the offseason?
Well, the one thing I will say to you is that if he was not fired, there would definitely be trades by now, because he would have had to. I mean, you could not come back with this core again. And he was, I was in the elevator with him after that loss, and he knew he was getting fired. I mean, you saw it on his face. He knew I was writing it. Everything. By the way, take a gift.
Yeah, please take a gift.
So, okay. A Rubik's Cube is what you took?
Puzzle
okay.
cube.
That seems cool. So anyway, there seems to be other things you could take too.
Yeah,
You
the
don't have to
CBA.
take
I
one
can't believe
thing.
anybody has taken the CBA yet.
I used to read that thing front and back. I don't get it. No.
Yeah, we know.
I think Coyle, Nino, I think those guys probably would have been goners. He could have probably, as our RFA, maybe made the move on Zucker. I think that would have been a huge mistake. As I said a gazillion times, this organization and the history of it being around, an organization that has developed almost no forward since 2003, which is just insane how little impact forwards this organization has developed. They finally develop a 30-goal scorer beyond Gabrick. It would have been hard to trade him. So Nino and Coyle are the two guys that I still think Paul Fenton's probably going to look at. I mean, I hate to say it like this. I said this to Steven too, but because I like them both. But if you're Paul Fenton, you've probably seen all you need to see from those two right now. I mean, Coyle's maddening. That play last night epitomized him. That play when Zucker dropped the puck. And he has the entire, everything's easy from the press box. I get it. It's an easy game from upstairs. But the waves are parted in front of him. All he's got to do is drive to the net. And what does he do? He inexplicably goes to his backhand and then circles around the net. And even when he goes to his backhand, and he's around the defender, it's like you got Stahl teed up in the right circle, and he doesn't make that play, and nothing happens. So that to me is that. And then just a bad start to his season. So my guess is Nino and Coyle for Chuck. Maybe Brodin. I think it would have been hard for anybody to trade Brodin, Fenton, or Chuck with the Suter.
Vicky, get him.
Vicky, you just got the Russo-Slack sigh. Come up here with your iPhone out, ready to read me a soliloquy.
I have to represent Philip correctly.
Absolutely.
But you can be sure that Coyle will be gone because I put his name and number on a jersey. Every time I do that,
he's gone.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So
who else?
Ralston, Hendrickson.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all gone. Sadly.
I remember I was at the All-Star game in Atlanta, and it was the first time that I met. And it's amazing. I think it was 40. It was the first time I met one of Craig Leopold's sons. I've met them all, but the youngest, which must be 40, who's about to graduate college. Crazy. Oh my God, am I old? But anyway, so I see them. We're at this giant convention center near Phillips Arena, and Leopold's walking around there with his son, and 40 was wearing a Ralston jersey. And I remember texting Ralston and saying, "Hey, good news," because he was a free agent. Good news, Leopold's son's wearing your jersey. Well, didn't matter.
That was a sad move.
Yeah.
Well, Philip has a couple comments. No, he just felt it was necessary, it was appropriate to repeat a question that has been on Twitter before. What is it about wild forwards that perpetually make backup goalies look like Vezina candidates?
Yeah, I know. Kemper, man. Like even Kemper last night, I went down and said something to one of the other reporters. Said it's a shame Arizona's up 2-1 because then we know the Wild are going to win 5-1 or 5-2 because that was Kemper's MO, was just melt down in the third period. And even last night he was great, but if you think about it, on the winning goal he was just swimming out of his net. So it's been for the entire history that I've covered this team. Yeah. Yep.
I enjoyed his attitude last night. He was into it for sure.
Stahl?
No,
Kemp's? Yeah, he was. He was awesome. He was great.
Yeah, he was fun to watch.
Yep.
And also, according to evolvinghockey.com, Granlund has the worst GAR among wild forwards.
Oh, not a superstar?
No.
Here's what I would have to go back.
Why
for
do
the
players'
rest
families
of,
hate you?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
So Philip, who we got into the big fight at the beginning of the podcast, the first podcast here at Delano's, he made me melt down because he was he was upset that I didn't think Granlund was a superstar, and it sounds like Philip's agreeing that I was right. Shocker. But the one thing I will say, here's the definition of a superstar that I probably didn't convey really well on that one. And a superstar is somebody that, remember we were talking about one of the things was